Greetings world, I'm Kane, and I'm going to show you a variant of the aggressive Stalker Void Ray PvT build. This build was designed by Gnial on the TeamLiquid.net forums, so props to Gnial for making a good guide, and props to Team Liquid for being awesome. The build aims at getting 2 Stalkers as fast as possible in order to apply constant pressure on the Terran wall and the Terran ramp. It's more potent on maps with shorter rush distances, since the Stalkers will arrive at his ramp when he basically only has a couple defenders, usually a Marine and a Marauder. Will abuse the regenerative shields of the Stalker to poke constantly without taking a hit point damage. We'll push up the ramp, we'll hit the units, we'll hit the buildings, then we'll back away and let the shields recharge. Any damage dealt to the Terran army at this stage of the game is permanent, until he gets medevacs, and any buildings damaged may have to be repaired by SCVs, which you can try to snipe. Just make him think twice about moving out with a wounded army. This kind of early aggression forces Terran to respond. He'll need to make some ground-centric defense, usually bunkers or orders. Once he repels your Stalkers, you show up with a Void Ray. The build is designed to keep you safe until you tech, until you expand, whatever. It's there to get you into a favorable position in the mid-game. I'm playing this in YABOT, yet another build order tester. I actually made a custom build in YABOT specifically for this video to give you this nice sexy list on the left so that you can follow the build better. This is a 4-Stalker variant on the standard theme of fast Stalkers into Void Rays, and this build in particular lines up really well. You'll see how. And I'll be ignoring the Terran AI this game, instead I'll just focus on the main and the build order. It's a standard build until 15 supply. You chrono the Nexus twice, at 9 pylon and 12 gate. Then you start saving energy. At 15 supply, you cut probes. You get a second gateway, and then a cybernetics core, right as the first gateway finishes. In this case, the side core got delayed by a few seconds. Get the 16th probe, and then a pylon. Here I'll make a proxy pylon, which is great if you can get away with it. Steps of War, in particular, is nice because of this high ground. You'll also see the proxy pylon thing line up with the build later on. Meanwhile, in the base, the cybernetics core and second gateway should finish at about the same time. Now, this side core was delayed, so it will finish last. Now, this build lines up really well overall, actually. Right as the 2 buildings warp in, I have just enough money for 2 Stalkers and enough energy to chrono both. While the Stalkers are building, I'll get an assimilator and 2 more probes. This delays the 4th Stalker, but it gets the Stargate quickly. You don't have enough energy to chrono the 4th Stalker yet anyway, so it's pretty good. It feels optimal to me. 3rd Stalker starts right as the first 2 come out, and I chrono boost it pretty much right away. And while I wait for more minerals to take into my bank, I'll assign workers to the 2nd assimilator. Then right about now, I'll start the 4th Stalker. I can't chrono boost it yet, but I'll do that at the first opportunity. In this build, the Void Ray will come out at about the 7-minute 30-second mark. This is pretty early, but the Void Ray is quite safe behind 4 or 6 Stalkers. It also provides vision for them, letting them engage the wall from low ground. It's a thorn in Terran's side. So now I'll get the Stargate as quickly as possible, right when I have enough gas. And while this is building, I'll finish up harassing the Terran ramp. And at this point in time, Terran should be able to start pushing you back from the ramp. So you'll need to hold outside of his main and prevent him from moving out until the Void Ray gets there. Basically, the Stalkers are relegated to containment duties. And at this stage, I'll also research Warp Gate tech, and I'll chrono boost the cybernetics core once. I can chrono it once, and still have enough energy to do the same to the Void Ray. This tech timing actually lines up perfectly with the proxy pylon, because right as the first Void Ray gets to the Terran ramp, Warp Gate tech will finish, and you can warp in 2 more units, and then begin your assault. It's the final build timing refinement that I came up with, and it feels pretty sweet when it all lines up perfectly. And here again is an example of build refinement, as I have just enough money to start Void Ray production right after the Stargate finishes. I'll also have just enough money to start a second Void Ray before the first one is finished, and enough energy to chrono that one as well. And in the meantime here, I'm getting pylons. I'm trying to avoid getting supply blocked. I'll keep getting some probes. Warp Gate tech is nearing completion, and I'm still containing him. And just before the first one is finished, I'll have enough energy to build the next Void Ray and chrono that one as well. So at this point, you know, you'll be getting ready to tech or expand or whatever. As long as you can keep your forward army alive, you'll be quite safe. Expanding soon is usually a good bet after this opening, and you can put down more gateways to keep unit production up and maintain the expansion well into the mid-game. As with all aggressive builds, this one does have its cons, notably the lack of robotics facility. Even so, it's a good build and it's fun to do, especially when it lines up perfectly, and especially if you like being aggressive. And now that the Void Ray is at the ramp, I'm able to warp in 2 more units, and I'm able to sort of commence the assault. And obviously the Terran AI is not clever enough to actually build anything here. But the build is finished for all intents and purposes, and I hope that this video has been somewhat educational. And I'm not sure what the next one will be about, but I think I'll have one more build order video fairly shortly. So that's pretty much it. Good luck, have fun.